we're expecting at least some progress in this term. And we're expecting the President of the United States to address his nation.
Yes.
And I believe he should say something about the end goal of this war. Because some European nations, including the United Kingdom, are saying that they are with Ukraine until Ukrainian victory. But the American administration is shy to say such a.
We're joined now by Alexander Khara, a former advisor to the Ukrainian Minister of Defence. Alexander, welcome to you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Evening. I mean, our sympathies on the losses from that awful missile attack in Kharkiv. And the mission of your president in this summit, it is very important, isn't it? At an important time.
Yes, it is, because now we are fearful of what is going on in the United States and this drama on the Capitol Hill with the ousting of the speaker. And we were expecting that the next move after the stoppage gap continuation resolution was passed, we were believing that the Congress would pass the provision for Ukrainian assistance, and along with the border expenditure that is required by the MAGA core of the representatives. Unfortunately, now we are in uncharted territory when the Republicans would be able to elect a new speaker, and we've seen the dramatic serial is repeating itself. I should remind you that after 14 rounds of talks and drastic battles between MAGAs and Kevin McCarthy, he was elected as a speaker, and then they begin to do the business. So we're expecting. At least some progress in this term. And we're expecting the President of the United States to address his nation.
Yes.
And I believe he should say something about the end goal of this war. Because some European nations, including the United Kingdom, are saying that they are with Ukraine until Ukrainian victory. But the American administration is shy to say such a thing. They are in between the collapse of Russia, or fear of collapse of Russia, and fear of Ukrainian victory and clearing all the territories, in particular Crimea.
Yeah, I mean, we do expect President Biden to make a speech soon and to, it is thought, address the question of support for Ukraine, which, of course, in his case is strong, and his administration is strongly behind support for Ukraine. But not so everyone on Capitol Hill, as you say. They lack a speaker in the House of Representatives. It may be that the next speaker is very much opposed to the sort of support that your country's had so far. That's a worry.
Well, yes, certainly. There are several names appeared these recent days, and Jim Jordan, one of those who certainly would be not really favorable towards Ukraine. But the other ones, the whip and the leader of the majority, they are more, let's say, moderate in talking, but most importantly, they voted for Ukrainian assistance and they were supportive of Ukrainian assistance. So that's why we still have some, let's say, some hopes that they will choose such a personality that would satisfy major fraction of Republicans and certainly would be able to communicate and cooperate with Democrats. So
yes.
Certainly, it's not in the interest of the United States to have a stalemate in the House.
No, and I guess the doubts over the future of American support makes it all the more important to keep European support solid. But there are concerns about that too, aren't there? The recent Slovakian election returned a leader who's doubtful about support for Ukraine, and we know about Hungary, we know about your argument with Poland. I mean, how confident can you be of keeping the support you've had from Europe?
Well, first of all, we're absolutely confident in Poland, even though we have some disagreements with regard to grain,
yeah.
But there is no disagreement with regard to the threat that Russia posed not just to Ukraine, but Poland and the whole of Europe. So that's why Poland should not count it. And we should understand that, during election time, politicians are sometimes exaggerating some issues because they need to get some support. And the same thing with Slovak Republic. Yes, this gentleman, Mr. Fico, is one of those who see the world from different lens than the rest of Europe. He's a leftist and he has his views in, America is empire and Russia is withstanding and trying to protect its rights in Ukraine from the United States, and that's why we should, we should not side with Ukraine to that extent.
Okay.
But I believe that he will be in difficult talks with his partners to form a coalition. Secondly, he is a part of the European Union and NATO, and that's why Brussels would have some leverage over him. And certainly, Slovak Republic was important as a transportation hub for the Western equipment and weaponry to Ukraine, and certainly they provided us with some their own stockpiles. But it's not a major player, and I don't think that we will have some problems. Hungary is a different place. You've seen that the European Union decided to step back, and they provided Hungary with 13 billion euros, even though there is, let's say, criticism about the rule of law, court system, and democracy in general in Hungary. Not to mention that Hungary is the Trojan horse of Russia inside EU and NATO. I should mention that Hungary is buying Russian gas, is building one more energy generation nuclear power plant unit. And they are critical towards Ukraine. They are saying there is no possibility for Ukraine to liberate all the territories, and Ukraine need to break a compromise. And the officials from Hungary are frequent visitors to Russia and meeting Russians. So they are sort of the other guys. They are not with us, and they will blocking support to Ukraine. And stricter sanctions against Russia. So certainly Hungary is a long-term, let's say, not a friend, but a neighbor who is just making money on Ukrainian misfortunes.
All right. Alexander Khara, thank you, former advisor to the defense minister in Ukraine.